this one has a LFP battery. Yes, it's efficient, and Tesla fans are correct. This is probably the most efficient SUV ever made.
This video is brought to you by Iona, North America's premier charging network. With unmatched commitment to elevating the customer experience, Iona is opening America's roads to all EVs, giving drivers the coverage they need, the reliability they deserve, and the amenities they crave.
Hello and welcome to AutoSpec. Today we are taking a look at the new Model Y, but it's not just any new Model Y. This is the base spec. And in the US you get the long range rear wheel drive. Nope, this is the rear wheel drive, not long range, which means standard range or short range. Anyways, this one has a LFP battery, and it's a LFP battery from CATL, so we will take a little bit of a look on the battery performance in terms of charging and everything, and talk a little bit about LFP batteries. Many people like LFP batteries, and I understand why. This car is the only Model Y with this LFP battery, and we only have one motor in the rear, and of course everything is based about this car. There are zero options. It's the non-premium interior. It is the white paint, absolutely zero options, zero additions. This is the cheapest Model Y you can buy. Unfortunately not available in the US. This one is available in Europe and China and maybe some other markets. And the price in Norway is 40,000 euros. It's significantly lower than the long-range all-wheel drive and the long-range rear-wheel drive, but not by an obscene amount, but it's cheaper. So the base interior is the first thing I will go over. I will talk about the base interior. What do you get on the cheapest Model Y? I will then talk a little bit about the range and the battery performance and stuff like that. Charging performance, extremely important. And then talk a little bit about the benefits of an LFP battery in this car. I will also talk a little bit about efficiency of this car. I think this is the most efficient SUV in the world. It must be, at least close to it. It's insanely efficient, this car, with only one motor in the rear, and the magic of Tesla efficiency. I will then jump in the driver's seat and take the car for a ride. I won't talk too much about how it's driving the new Model Y. I already think you probably have seen how it is to drive this car. It drives amazingly well. Such a huge upgrade from the old Model Y in terms of comfort, suspension comfort, and just isolation from the road and road noise performance, wind performance, much better in this car. But I will talk about the limited performance of this car and if it's actually something to think about at all. Because this is also the slowest Model Y because of the battery and also the motor combination. Why am I here at this ugly construction site? Well, I think I've found a new supercharger that's going in here, which is quite interesting. And not to derail the entire video, but it seems like there will be a 24-stall supercharger here, which is quite exciting. I just had to take a look. So let's jump inside the car. Let's take a look at the non-premium interior, also called the base interior, with the base sound system, base absolutely everything with this car. And if you are like me, I absolutely love low spec cars. Low spec cars are amazing to just figure out and explore, because it's the cheapest option that the automaker offers to the consumer. I want to see what Tesla really cheaps out on when you have a low spec or base spec model. So let's explore the base Model Y together. Door cards, that's very important to look at when it comes to the quality of the interior. So let's start here. First of all, you might see that it's a little bit different from the premium interior. There are no major differences, but some of them is the lack of a metal or metal-like speaker grill in this area. You have this wire mesh here instead of the Alcantara-like material. This material is completely different. This is the base cheap fabric, which is the same cheap fabric that you find on the dashboard here. You can replace this one with a new one actually from the Tesla shop now, which is quite exciting because I don't think this one looks too good. But for a base interior, it's completely adequate, and that's a theme for this video. It's adequate, and it's more than adequate actually, the interior quality, because this is the base cheapest Model Y and you still get soft touch materials down here. You still get the large speaker grill here. You still get a felt material inside here and inside here, which is important to have because it's very noisy to have, for example, your water bottle here. If you don't have felt material inside, which is nice, you have the thicker fake Tesla leather here. You have the fake leather goes all the way down here. So these door cards are actually amazing in terms of what you get for the price. So what do you think about this material? I'm kind of torn. It looks definitely cheaper than the Alcantara material, but it doesn't look that terrible. It's just a little bit of a boring color in my opinion, but it feels nice to the touch and it's all the way around here. What I don't like is the symbol here for the emergency door release, but maybe it's important, I don't know. In the rear we have the same type of door card on this non-premium interior. Large fabric material piece here, and still soft touch. It's still soft touch all the way down here. Door thunks are exactly the same as the premium interior. So let's fold up these seats. I think it's this button. And you can see electronic seats in the rear that will fold up and down, and that will move the front seat on the base interior. That's pretty good for a base interior, don't you think? And just to follow through in the rear here, this one is heated, middle seat is not heated, and that one is heated as well. And here you can see the kind of base interior in more normal lighting when the doors are closed. Looks okay to me. A little bit boring gray, but something that's even more boring in this car is the headliner. But this is the same headliner as the more premium interior. It's municipality gray. It's so boring. Tesla should really put a dark headliner in their Tesla Model Y. But this is not specific to the non-premium interior again. And we come in here. We still have the rear screen. We still have two USB C ports with pretty fast charging, if I remember correctly. We have a fan in the rear, everything, all the controls from the premium interior, no difference there. And aside from the door cards and the lack of a bass or subwoofer in the rear, this interior is extremely similar to the premium one. Let's take a look at the front. It's so warm outside, so I have the AC running, but I'll turn it off for the video, of course. So inside here we have no organizers and no like mat that you can wash in the bottom. Here we have the cup holders. I think it's very similar to the premium interior, if I'm not mistaken, but we have no organizers and stuff. So let's talk a little bit about the specs on the car, and let's go to software. Additional vehicle information. There we go. So the first thing you see is audio system bass. And what does the audio system bass mean? Well, no subwoofers and just 9 speakers around the car. Like you can see that there is actually a lack of a speaker in this area, which is very interesting. And the bass sound system is great. It sounds better than many premium sound systems from other automakers, but it lacks bass, and the clarity is great. The loudness is great, so no distortion when you are playing music loudly. I always play music very loud, and this sound system, this bass sound system, goes louder than my old premium sound system in the Model Y. That means the Model Y generation before this car. I have the full premium sound system. I just came out of that car, so I'm able to actually compare the sound systems. This one goes louder, but it has significantly less bass, which kind of distorts the immersion of the music. But it's still an amazing sound system, and a sound system that people will think is amazing if you're not used to premium sound systems. It's totally adequate. It's a good sound system, very clear, very loud, like I mentioned, and it sounds great. I love the sound system in the base Model Y, and of course I wish you could option the full sound system, but then you probably would have to option the entire full premium interior that Tesla offers in the other cars. In the US, the packaging is different. I know that on the long-range rear-wheel drive, I think you get a full sound system. Actually, not entirely sure. This changes all the time. But in Europe, right now, you don't get the full sound system with the rear-wheel drive cars. So not this one, and not the long-range rear-wheel drive. So, let's continue. We have the low voltage battery. All electric cars have a low voltage battery. This is a 16 volt CATL low voltage battery. And the high voltage battery, which is much more exciting, is a LFP battery, lithium iron phosphate battery from CATL. It's their new 6M battery. So just to explain that Tesla has 3 LFP batteries that they have ever put in their cars. They have the 6L battery, which was available in the Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive standard range in the US for a short period of time. It's now discontinued, but it was available. It was even available in the new Highland in the US for a very short period of time. In Europe, I had the battery, the old 6L battery, in my Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive Highland. Great car, okay battery, and it's a little bit annoying because Tesla is really not developing their battery tech fast enough, in my opinion. But anyways, they also have the BYD blade battery that they put in some rear-wheel drive Model Ys from Giga Berlin, but not this car. And no Junipers ever got that battery, which was an amazing battery. Oh, I love the BYD blade battery in the Model Y. And this car has the third battery, which is the CATL 6M battery, which is larger. People say it's 62.5 kilowatt hours gross. I have been able to fill this battery with 64 kilowatt hours into the battery, so I think 62.5 is the net capacity of this battery, but don't quote me on that. I'm still figuring out the car. Anyway, this, just to keep it short for those that found that a little bit like, I would say, messy, this is an LFP battery. LFP batteries are voltage stable. They don't catch fire. They have, not to say that batteries in EVs catch fire, but you know, some people are very, very worried about that, and they only want LFP cars, which are actually less prone to fire. But yeah, you know, the chance of fire is 0 regardless, so I wouldn't worry about that. Lithium iron phosphate battery typically has less degradation, and we have seen that on Teslas as well. I did a degradation check on the BYD Blade Model Y, and we had basically 0 degradation after a significant amount of time and driving. So that was super, super exciting to see. And this battery should have low degradation as well. Charged to 100%. I wouldn't recommend doing that daily with this battery. It will still stress the battery to have it at 100%, but you can do, and you should do it more often to calibrate the BMS. It's more difficult for the BMS to know how much energy is available because the voltage is so stable. It's like the same 350, for example, volts throughout most of the pack, which is very, I would say, different from an NMC battery pack that you find in the long-range cars, or yeah, basically all other Model Ys than this one. So, if you want an LFP battery that's more stable, more robust, this is the only Model Y with that one. And unfortunately only available in Europe, China, and maybe some other markets, not in the US, because the battery is from China. I want to mention that this car is built in Germany. All Model Ys for Norway is built in Germany. So just wanted to quickly mention that. AMD Ryzen chip, that's the newest chip we have hardware for, and we still have a front camera on the base car. Yes! and we still have the awesome things that you get with a Tesla. You still have autopilot, which is lane holding and adaptive cruise control together, which works fantastically well. A little bit annoying to use in Norway at some stretches, but it's included. No additional packages. Keep in mind that this is the base car. So, I think what we will do now is to take the car for a drive and see how it drives. Is this car fast enough to not be annoying? You know, if you buy a car, it's so incredibly important that it drives well, that you get up to speed at the expected rate. And new electric cars have kind of set the precedent for how fast cars should accelerate. So this car needs to accelerate fast enough to not be annoying. So let's mount the camera, take the car for a little drive and talk about how it drives. And I will also summarize this entire video and tell you if this is a good buy. I have really missed driving Teslas after driving so many other cars, because it's so easy to just get into drive, tap the brake pedal and then tap the accelerator without even touching any controls, which is awesome. We also have the blinker stalk here, which came back with the Juniper update, so we still have that in the base car. There are no really other differences than the ones I mentioned in terms of controls, in terms of the screen. Everything is the same in the base car, and we just want to check if the acceleration is good enough to have it a little bit fun in the curves. Then we will take it onto the highway to see if we can reach highway speed. Spoiler alert, there is no problems reaching highway speeds in Norway with a base Model Y at all. So this stretch is a little bit curvy, so it'll probably warn me about driving on the lines, which is very typical that's happening in Norway. And we just get up to this 80 kilometers per hour immediately. Absolutely no issues whatsoever. And let's throw this car into a corner. It feels so sports car-like, and that's just such a cool thing about Teslas, is that they drive really well. None of them is boring to drive, even the base cars. And this one is absolutely not boring to drive at all. Of course, if you want the insane acceleration, like a party trick, you have to opt for the all-wheel drive variant, or even the performance when that one comes out. That's not available as of this video. But just from a fun point of view, I came out of a Seeker 7X, which has like 4.8 seconds or something, maybe even faster, 0 to 100 kph. This one is much slower, but it feels just as fun, if not more fun to drive, because it doesn't have, it's not as heavy, it doesn't have the air suspension, it has like this adaptive suspension, and it still feels just amazing to drive. Here we have. So you hear the tire squeal immediately. By the way, we are on ultra high performance tires. I chose not to mention that in the beginning of the video because I'm actually not sure if this car comes with ultra high performance tires. I doubt it. I think they come on some Hankook Eco tires. I did confirm with my Tesla rep that apparently Sport Contact 7 by Continental is the included tire on this car for absolutely no reason whatsoever. These are great tires, and I think it's a good thing to have ultra high performance tires on these high performance electric cars. Even this one is quite fast, I would say, or fast enough for most people, but I do find it interesting that it's actually ultra high performance tires. And yeah, some people in Norway got the Hankook Evo whatever tires, some people got some Bridgestone tires. At least I got on my Model 3 that absolutely sucked. So it's great to see that the Sport Contact 7 is back on the cheapest Model Y that you can get. That's awesome, I would say. It's definitely slower. For example, if you drive on a track and you come into a high-speed section, a section where you want to accelerate up, you will of course notice the difference over an all-wheel drive, but in corners it just feels great, and it's easy to get the car to get a little bit of tire squeal. It rotates very, very nicely, it's easy to control, and I think it's probably it must be the best driving SUV for the price, at least, at the very, very least. I think it's plenty fast enough for curvy roads to have it fun. Of course, you won't get maximum performance. You will have to go with another car to get like the maximum performance or another spec of the Model Y. But I think it's incredibly fun in the curves. And just driving a rear-wheel drive car, which I can mention because it's so fun. It's very fun, surprisingly fun actually. I can mention that driving a rear-wheel drive car like this one is pretty fun, and it's way better than the old Model Y rear-wheel drive, because the old Model Y rear-wheel drive had the heaviest steering I've ever experienced in a modern car. This one has the updated suspension, the updated steering rack with a different ratio, and that makes it feel so much better and so much comfortable to drive, really. That was almost a final destination moment with that logging truck. Feels great. So fun to drive, and you're not missing out on much, even in the cheapest Model Y. Honestly, it feels more fun to drive than many faster cars, but it's not fast on the straights, just so that's mentioned. And the thermal longevity of the LFP battery is something that I think Kyle needs to test on track for us. So let's say you are in a dangerous crossing and you need to get out fast. It's a safety thing. No problem in the Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive. Absolutely no problem. Just getting into situations, taking your space, being a confident driver, coming like up to a roundabout and you need to take your place because it's a safety thing to actually be able to place the car. No issues whatsoever. Let's go onto the highway. This is a highway on-ramp, so let's just give him a little bit of space. Of course, we got the slowest driver known to mankind in front of us. Let's see if we can get up to highway speed. No problem, absolutely no problem. So this car is still faster than many other cars on the road, and even though in Norway we have an insane amount of electric cars, I would say that this one is still up there and still extremely easy to place, extremely easy to get on the highways, no issues whatsoever. Then we go into this lane, we can activate autopilot and we can just set it to the speed we want, and included lane holding on the cheapest Tesla. Just an amazing package. Sound system is more than good enough, better than many other systems, no complaints on the sound system. It's even better than in the Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive in my opinion. The interior quality feels lower than the premium, definitely, this fabric material, but it's only the door cards. I'm still sitting here with full blast on the ventilated seats. It's 27 degrees Celsius outside. It feels great to sit in this car with ventilated seats. Almost no other automakers give you ventilated seats on the base car. Absolutely amazing. And then you say, okay, you can pay up a little bit more to get the all-wheel drive, long-range all-wheel drive, and maybe there is like a promotion for the interest on the car loan, which is the case in Norway right now. And yes, of course, there are many reasons to choose an all-wheel drive car. This is more for people that actually don't need all-wheel drive and they want the LFP battery, and maybe they can get a good deal on this car as well, and it's already cheaper, of course. And efficiency might not matter to you. You want faster charging speeds, you want to go full send, you want a large battery, and that makes sense. Of course, you can get faster from A to B with faster charging than this battery can take. 182 kilowatts is the maximum I have gotten on this battery, and it's a flatter charging curve than the long-range battery, but not flat enough in my opinion, especially after having seen the BYD Blade battery that Tesla should have put in this car. But efficiency does mean cheaper prices. DC fast charging can cost a lot of money, and in some extreme cases with towing, with extreme inefficiencies, it's more expensive than driving an efficient gas or diesel car. So efficiency does matter in like a cost perspective, which is kind of where people are when they are trying to buy the base or looking at buying the base car. So this car is the cheapest car from A to B in the world, most likely, or cheapest SUV from A to B in the world, because the efficiency is just absolutely insane in this car. And not just in the slow traffic that we have here. I mean in 130 kilometers per hour, full send on the highway, just super efficient SUV, and I haven't tested anything that comes close to this efficiency. You can get under 200 watt-hour per kilometer in even extreme cases, so it's very interesting to see. Now let's talk a little bit about the downside of an efficient car with a small battery like this one. Let's say around 65 kilowatt hours gross capacity. That's a small battery in today's EVs. This means that auxiliary loads, like for example using the heater or air conditioning, or driving on slippery roads, or being stationary for a long period of time with like stationary loads like running the heater or preconditioning the car, or using sentry mode or dog mode or anything that draws power. Even though Tesla has one of the most efficient heat pump systems in their cars, it still uses a significant portion of the battery compared to if you had a larger battery. So that's a downside of efficient cars, that auxiliary loads take more of the battery, because they kind of take the same amount of energy regardless of the battery size. And when you have a smaller battery, it impacts the battery more, to just explain that. So that's a downside of like a small battery efficient car. So there are upsides and downsides, and a lot of people just enjoy it. So now it's raining, for example. That means another load on the car. It'll be less efficient, and that impacts a smaller battery more than a larger battery. So you have to weigh up the differences there. What do you want from the car? But this is such a cheap car from A to B at highway speeds. It's still super efficient, and it just feels like it'll go forever compared to the battery size. It has a 500 kilometers VLTP in Europe. That's 50 kilometers more than the old Model Y, or the BYD Blade Model Y, or the CATL Model Y of the old generation. I did mention that this one drives better than the Seeker 7X that I already tested, and I really think it drives better from like a fun perspective. But in terms of comfort, it's not there, because it doesn't have air suspension. That's obvious. But I also noticed that it's a little bit more unstable on the highway when there is wind, actually, compared to the Seeker 7X. So just something fun that I noticed, that we get a little bit of a wiggle when there is windy on the highway. And the auto wipers still don't work in Teslas, and I've given up on the auto wipers in Teslas. I don't think they will ever work at all. With the base Model Y, you still get the awesome things about Tesla. You get the amazing software, you get dog mode, which is something I use every single day, and you get so many things that are just included on all Teslas, like the autopilot, like everything else. But you also get the amazing drivetrain tuning. It feels amazing to drive this car. It feels better than any other electric car, in my opinion. It's just unbeatable. It's just a perfect drivetrain tuning. They are up there with Porsche's EV drivetrain tuning, and that's amazing. And it of course has one-pedal driving and everything else that I personally do like. So you get all the Tesla stuff. They are not skimping on the things that are awesome with Teslas. So charging performance is okay. It's definitely not as good as it should be. I think Tesla should be the best at charging, and they are clearly not the best at all. And it has nothing to do with battery degradation and other stupid stuff like that. They are simply lagging behind, and that sucks. So, this car is extremely efficient, and often Tesla fans will say that, oh, but the cars are so efficient, so it doesn't matter if it charges fast at all. Well, the thing is, yes, it's efficient, and Tesla fans are correct. This is probably the most efficient SUV ever made. I can't think of anything else, maybe a Lucid Gravity or something when that one comes out. I don't know. Of course it's out, but it's not properly tested for efficiency. I think this one is the most efficient SUV ever made, or close to it. It's like top 3 most efficient SUVs ever made. But the charging performance of this car is lagging so behind the other stuff coming out of China and stuff, that this car is not faster on a road trip than, for example, a Seeker 7X. This one wouldn't be able to add enough energy. Even if it uses way less energy on the highway, it wouldn't be able to add the amount of energy that's needed. So it's not faster on a road trip, this car. And even the long-range variant, at least in Europe, isn't faster on a road trip. And now I think Tesla is not only starting to lag behind in terms of charging speed, they are actually lagging behind in terms of the speed on a road trip, and that impacts the consumer, so that absolutely sucks. Thank you so much for watching this Autospec video. I really appreciate that you watched this video. I hope you got an insight into the European or the Chinese, for that matter, Tesla Model Y base that's available to us, and I hope I was able to explain to you what's good about it, what's bad about it. And I'm not going to talk about if you need all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. Most people know what they need. But if you're looking for a rear-wheel drive car, maybe go for the LFP instead of the long range, depending on what you need. There won't be much difference on road trips in reality, the way most people charge their cars. So, thank you again for watching, and I see you in another video soon.